Mobile phones then, folks, by a padre, Jan Taylor, who's up at RAF Leaving, believe it or not, but this was when I was just a young pup, he told it me. And he told a story of, sadly, 3 RAF gentlemen who passed away. And the first one arrives at the gates of heaven, and St. Peter turns to him, and he turns around and says, "So, what did you do in your life?" And he says, "Well, I was a pilot in the Air Force." And St. Peter says, "Oh my God, that's fantastic." He goes, "We need people like you in heaven. I'm so glad that you've arrived." And he goes, "In you go." And the second bloke turns up, and he was an engineer, an electrical engineer like myself. And he turns up at the gates of heaven, and St. Peter turns around and says, "What did you do in your life?" And he says, "Well, I was an electrical engineer." And he goes, I loved being an electrical engineer. I went all the way around the world. I really enjoyed it. And I was in the RAF." And he said, "Oh, thank goodness you've arrived." And he goes, "It's absolutely fantastic to have an electrical engineer in heaven." He goes, "So please come on in." The third bloke turned up. He was an RAF regiment gunner. And he turns up to the gates of heaven, and St. Peter turns around and says, "Hello, my friend, welcome." And he goes, "What did you do in life?" He goes, "What's your place going to be in heaven?" And he said, "Well, I was an RAF regiment gunner." He goes, "Thank goodness you turned up. Can you watch the game?"
As Darren said, my name is Rory O'Connor, and I'm currently the Director of Welfare. I've been in post for 4 months. Yeah. I came into post, as Tom's on his head, the week of the annual conference, which obviously was a big learning curve for me. My intention today, I'm actually down to speak for about an hour. I'm hoping to go on for an hour and a half or 2. Well, not really. What we will do is it'll be relatively informal. I'm going to give you a wider sort of welfare presentation, and then add some of the where I see the welfare going in the next 3, 5, 10 years. I'll introduce you to the CHQ welfare team. I think it's going to take me about 50 minutes, but I'm open to any questions, and there will be an opportunity for questions at the end.
This is my 4th year as running the area seminar.
Seems longer.
On behalf, sorry?
Seems longer.
It doesn't seem longer. 4th year running the area seminar on behalf of your area council, who all welcome you here to RAF Linton-on-Ouse. I also have to say a special thank you to the station commander for allowing us to use the facilities. He does so at no cost. So he's not here today. I don't know if he might pop in.
He's up and down to command, so I don't know if he's back in that time.
If he does pop in, obviously we can say thank you personally, but I'd just like to place on record my thanks. Also, thank you to the area welfare teams, both here at Linton and at Leyland. They're the ones that have pieced together today's presentation. They're the ones that have done the donkey work of getting the presenters. They're the ones that have liaised with yourselves about accommodation, about transport, about getting onto the unit. So thank you very much to them, if I don't get a chance to say it later. A couple of health and safety bits. There's no fire drills expected, so if the alarms go off, sadly they are for real, please grab your closest friends or your worst enemies and drag them with you. The fire assembly point is the big aeroplane outside, or as Kirsten called it this morning, the little aeroplane on the corner. That's the fire assembly point. If you could make your way there, I think the girls have taken a bit of a register so we can check off that everyone's out of the building.
Standing caseworkers in the North East, and he's going to be talking to you about PTSD. Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you, Darren. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Anthony Hopkins. Been working for Rafa just over a year now. Professionally, I am a mental health nurse, registered mental health nurse, qualified in 1969, so it takes it back a bit. Then spent 22 years in the Royal Air Force as a mental health nurse. Half of that, the latter half, being as a community psychiatric nurse, both in the UK and overseas. And since retiring, I've worked for the NHS and also privately with a special interest in post-traumatic stress.
You're getting a 2-for-1 today. I'm Colin Lee, I'm the new manager at Crosbury House. Marilyn's giving me a good look there. Yes, hello Marilyn. So it was just to introduce myself and just to quickly say a couple of words about myself really before Tony gives the presentation. I have a background of 12 or 13 years managing care and 17 years managing a hotel before that. So that's where I come from. I live in the area, I always have. And, I really feel rather privileged at being offered the job and being able to take it up and to become part of the Rafa family. That's really all I've got to say for the minute, so I'll hand you over to Tony for the presentation.
Evening everybody. Morning all. It's lovely to be here and thank you very much to Karen for inviting us. I'm not going to try and teach you how to suck eggs, so if I'm telling you things that you already know, bear with me, it's my first go at this. As you know, 3 homes, Lytham St Anne's, Western Supermarket and Rothbury. We pretty much all try to do the same things, and I'm glad we've sort of already cracked this thing about the big H word, because it's the holiday thing. You know, one man's work for a break, another man's holiday.
Thrasher!
Right.
Get about.
Does anybody want to use the toilet before I bore you to death? No? Right. Before we start, we were due to have a talk from a lady to give us some about debt, but unfortunately she's too broke to get here. No, she's off sick, so she can't make it. So we'll probably be finishing a little bit earlier. Probably finishing a little bit earlier so you can get down the motorway and I can be fed. Right, the talk that we're going to do today, or little presentation, is effective form filling and report writing. Now, before I start, let me just say, you know, on behalf of all of the area, we thank you for all the work that you do. Because without you guys, we're goosed.
Here, here, here.